the condo market again is still a reasonable market to be in. There's still
The
sales, there's
only
still
affordable place
opportunities.
to be. Yeah.
But if you have to go and go on the market right now in the condo market, you need to look at like how many units are you competing against? Because the reality is this: if you're an older unit and we have all these units that are going to be constantly closed for the next umpteen years, right? From all this new construction that we've got, you're always going to be in competition with newer units that are going to show well, that are going to have nice layouts and all that kind of stuff. So if you're an older unit, I think you really have to be concerned if unless you're like a really large unit or something like that with a reasonable maintenance fee.
What has higher maintenance fees, older or newer buildings?
Older.
Older does?
Yeah.
Like I get that they would need to spend more, but doesn't the
Maintenance fees go up
contingency
like taxes. They just keep on raising them. They say, let's, 2%, 4%,
Mhm,
6%. Each
mhm.
year they raise them. So by the
But
time you get to, 30 years later,
right.
you've got
But
a
don't they
higher fee.
cover more now like than they used to? Like weren't maintenance fees almost nothing before and then they realized, "Oh shit, like these
The
things are
cost of
falling
the cost
apart.
of maintenance has gone up.
Everything's
So,
gone
so
up."
I had a
But
building on Eglinton where, in the East End, where the maintenance or the special assessment was almost $40,000 on this one unit because the windows, when they priced the windows back in 1989, they were like, yeah, this is a $2 million job, like we better put aside money. So in 30, 40 years, we're going to have that $2 million.
yeah, and now
And it
two
ended up
million
being
with
like
inflation
$30
is like
million dollars
a
when
billion dollars.
yeah, it was like 30 million by the time they like actually needed the windows. And they were like, oh,
Uh-oh.
how do we pay for this?
What do
Maybe
we
it's
do
25.
now?
I
Let's have a
exaggerate a lot.
bake sale.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah,
they're
condos are probably not the best avenue if you can avoid them, I
well,
think.
what do you do when you've got $50,000 saved? What do you buy, Daryl? Where do you live? Where do you live? You're
You
gonna rent?
rent, you're going to rent.
Okay, so you're gonna pay someone else's mortgage. Why not pay your own?
Because right now it's cheaper to rent and safer to rent
Why is that? Because you know where
because
the
the
market's going?
market's like crazy.
Is it crazy? Is it going somewhere?
I don't fucking know
Who
anymore.
knows?
I
But the
don't know.
bottom line is, right? People want to buy. Canadians like home ownership. Condos give them an option to be able to do that. What about all
Right.
the people who are from countries who don't have a lot of detached housing and that they're used to living in condos? And for them, having to take care of grass and eaves troughs and all that kind of stuff is daunting, and they've got no interest to do it. They shouldn't live in condos,
Everybody should live in
right?
condos if they want to.
Condos are a great
But the whole
option.
system's fucked. Like they're too expensive. Then your maintenance fees are crazy
Mhm.
and they don't get maintained properly. Like that's the reality is it's always reactionary because nobody wants to fix the roof ahead of time, right? They want to keep the money or there's never enough money. Like rarely is there, you know,
There
three,
are
400,000. I
no,
know there's some that are
there's some really
managed
well
fine.
managed buildings where
Yeah,
the
there's
guys who
some.
are on the board are like, corporate guys who have a lot of experience.
Right. And this is
You're
why they should,
lucky.
but they should just all be purpose-built rental buildings. Like enough with this condo idea. It's so stupid. Like just
Why?
because they're really like for 50% of them are rentals
No, that's
anyways.
not true. In some
It's
buildings you have
not
high
true.
rates, but there's a ton of them that are in the teens and 20%. Like there's a lot of buildings out there, some of them even lower.
In the teens, what?
Percentage of units leased.
Teens, that's still pretty high for a building.
No, high is like 35%.
35 is high.
Yeah, yeah. There's way higher
Where do you get that stat from?
in
Like
the status certificate
the
housing.
status certificate?
Yeah.
So you've seen all of them.
No, I'm just saying all the ones that I've seen over the years, like these are the
Right,
numbers that
right.
sort of stay in your head, right?
Like with all the owners you work with. I
Anybody,
think your pool,
buyers or sellers. Any condo building, you're going to see the status at one point.
right. But
Condo
you're
deal.
dealing with like owners, not, oh, no. But how many times are you selling a condo that has a tenant in it? Or like you have to get rid of a tenant. You've
Either
been
way, you need a
talking to them
status
for six
certificate.
months.
Condos for me, because my business is not as primarily condos,
Yeah,
it's not
that's
as
true.
often.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
were we even talking about condos? How did
I
we
don't
get
know.
onto
Look at all the
condos?
condos in the background. Look at these condos.
Well, this is the place for condos. There's no doubt.
I'm not
But like I just don't understand how somebody has comfort in buying one so far out now, especially downtown. Although I
Pre-con.
guess the prices seem to be coming down in some places downtown, which is kind of crazy.
Pre-con?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially when I talk to
Well,
people
if you've
about
got a
like,
site plan approved project, like what do you do?
I don't know right now. Like there's a
Either you
lot that are for
sell or
sale.
you
There's a lot for sale,
sell.
but I don't think they're selling because I don't know if people are very interested in buying something that they have to launch right now that
Hmm.
somebody already squeezed all the juice out of,
Hmm.
right? And now like you'd have to just go now.
Yeah.
And things are not selling the way that they used to. Like that's for sure. In pre-con, I guess Jordan says they're ripping in the 905, but like there's a lot of stuff out there, and I'm not hearing that it's ripping anywhere. Maybe a couple of buildings ripped in the
Hmm.
905. I know a couple ripped in the 416, but a lot
Yeah.
came out right now, and I just keep seeing more emails, which means I think they're looking for more buyers.